Throughout history, a few brilliant military leaders have repeatedly altered the course of human events. From a Greek king who swiftly built an empire in a mere 12 years to a strong Russian commander who stopped the Nazis outside Moscow. Here are 10 great generals from history, unveiling the legendary 10 masterful military commanders who shaped history. Alexander the Great was born in 356 BC. When he was only 20 years old, he became king after his father, Philip II of Macedon, was killed. Alexander's main goal was to grow the empire his father had started. His first big win was against the Persians at the Battle of Granicus in 334 BC. This battle showed how clever and skilled he was at leading troops, even at a young age. After that, Alexander kept conquering lands, including Asia Minor. His biggest victory was against the Persian Emperor Darius III at the Battle of Issus in 333 BC. 2 years later, he beat Darius again at the Battle of Gaugamela. This gave him control of a huge area from the Adriatic Sea to the Indus River. Though Alexander dreamed of conquering even more, like India, he never got the chance. He died in 323 BC when he was just 32 years old. Hannibal Barca was a Carthaginian general known for his boldness and smart strategies, which made him a tough opponent for the Roman Empire. He became famous during the Second Punic War when he surprised Rome by leading a group of war elephants through the Alps, something they didn't expect. Hannibal won important battles at Trebia, Lake Trasimene, and Cannae because he could predict and counter his enemies' moves. For about 15 years, Hannibal controlled much of southern Italy. But he was finally defeated at the Battle of Zama in what is now Tunisia because he didn't get enough support from Carthage. After that, Hannibal fled and later chose to end his own life in 183 BC. He was one of the few to challenge Rome and win, but he couldn't sustain it in the end. Julius Caesar's military career began in Hispania, where he displayed remarkable leadership and strategic prowess. His conquest of Gaul and invasion of Britain significantly expanded the Roman Empire. Following a civil war and the defeat of his old ally Pompey, Caesar became dictator for life in 44 BC, but his rule was cut short by assassination, marking the end of the Roman Republic. Attila the Hun was known as the Scourge of God for his ruthless takeover of large parts of East and Central Europe, leading a fierce group of warriors from various tribes, including the Ostrogoths, Bulgars, Alans, and Huns. Attila used speed and surprise to defeat his enemies swiftly with cavalry and infantry attacks. Teaming up with his brother Bleda, Attila mercilessly conquered Roman lands, reaching Gaul. His violent advance westward was stopped at the Battle of the Catalaunian Plains in 451 AD. Despite this setback, he later invaded Italy with intentions to seize Rome. However, Attila died suddenly 2 years later, leading to the collapse of the empire he had built through force and violence. Saladin, born in 1137, became famous as a strong military leader during the Crusades. As the Sultan of Egypt and Syria, he aimed to capture the holy city of Jerusalem, which he achieved after winning the Battle of Hattin in 1187. Unlike the usual practice of killing most of the city's inhabitants after capturing it, Saladin treated Christians and Jews with respect, earning admiration beyond the Muslim world. His victory at Hattin changed the course of the Crusades, solidifying Muslim control in the region for many years. Saladin passed away in 1193 as the undisputed ruler of a vast empire and is remembered today as the greatest Kurdish military leader in history. Genghis Khan, born in 1162, started as a regular person but became one of history's greatest and most frightening generals. His military journey began in Mongolia's tribal conflicts, where he quickly showed his talent as a skilled warrior and planner. He moved up the ranks and eventually brought together the warring Mongol tribes. Khan then led his forces to conquer large areas of China, Central Asia, and parts of the Middle East. He was smart in battle but also very harsh as a ruler. When he died in 1227, around 40 million people had lost their lives due to his violent conquests. After becoming the ruler of Prussia in 1740 when his father passed away, Frederick II inherited one of Europe's biggest armies. He wasted no time in using it effectively. Frederick proved himself as a brilliant strategist during the War of Austrian Succession and the 7 Years' War. His victories at Hohenfriedberg, Leuthen, and Rossbach earned him a reputation as a quick, decisive, and intuitive leader. Frederick then made important changes to the military that made Prussia the strongest military force in Europe. Besides being a great military leader, he also supported the arts and sciences. Frederick the Great passed away in 1786 at the age of 74, leaving behind a legacy of military and cultural achievements. Considered by many as the greatest general in history, Napoleon Bonaparte changed warfare in Europe in the 18th and 19th centuries with his military brilliance. Using clever tactics, embracing new ideas, and predicting his enemies' moves, Napoleon won battles all over Europe and Africa, like Austerlitz, Jena, and Wagram. For a while, it seemed like Napoleon, the self-proclaimed Emperor of France, couldn't be beaten. But his failed invasion of Russia in 1812 led to his downfall, and he was sent into exile on the island of Elba. He made a brief return, only to suffer a final defeat by the Duke of Wellington at the Battle of Waterloo. Exiled again, this time to St. Helena, Napoleon passed away in 1821 at the age of 51. Erwin Rommel, already known for his bravery in World War I, proved his military skill during the Blitzkrieg invasion of France in 1940 as commander of the 7th Panzer Division. He then led Nazi Germany's campaign in North Africa, winning impressive battles against the British at Tobruk and Gazala, and earning the nickname the Desert Fox for his clever tactics. In 1944, Rommel oversaw Germany's defenses against the Allied invasion of Normandy. Later that year, he was linked to a plot to assassinate Adolf Hitler. Instead of facing public execution, Rommel chose to take his own life in October 1944, avoiding dishonor. Born into a poor family in Russia in 1896, Zhukov climbed the ranks during World War I and the Russian Civil War. A brilliant strategist, he showcased his skills when the Nazis invaded Russia in 1941, defending cities like Leningrad, Moscow, and Stalingrad. He achieved remarkable victories, notably at the Battle of Kursk. Zhukov became Marshal of the Soviet Union and led Operation Bagration, which pushed the Nazis out of Soviet territory and played a big part in Germany's defeat at the Battle of Berlin. After the war, he faced political setbacks and passed away in 1977 at the age of 77, despite being considered Russia's greatest military leader.